everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Kirsty and this is Stuck in the Mud. Sorry if I'm sounding a bit croaky today. I have had a chest infection, so it's stopped me from making videos for you all, but I was hoping to get back behind the camera today and actually get to the end of something without coughing, so hang in there with me. If you find the video helpful, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because the more people that subscribe, the more chance we have of YouTube actually putting these videos out there and helping as many OCD sufferers as possible. So in today's video, I am talking about what might be keeping you stuck in the OCD cycle. And this is quite an important one because as an OCD sufferer myself for 40 years, there has definitely been a lot of themes that I will go through, and it's ever changing. OCD just seems to move around to where it wants, and it will always pick the path of least resistance. So that would be something that you value the most, or the thing that you can't tolerate the uncertainty in. It usually festers in those kind of places, and it's unbearable. It really is. And it will move around and move around. You might think you've got over one type of OCD, and then it'll show up somewhere else because we're not actually dealing with the problem behind it. You see, OCD is all the same, no matter what type of OCD it is. So that could be, relationship health, contamination, harm, scrupulosity, responsibility OCD, which is one I've had as well. And anything, it can be any of these. I'm just giving examples there, but it could be anything like sexual orientation OCD. I'm trying to think of all of them off the top of my head, but any of them, the POCD, that's something I've gone through as well. It will just move around, and you will find that it'll just keep coming back. You think you've done it. You think you've solved that one, that type. And then it will just come back again because we're not actually addressing the root cause of it and why we have these beliefs that we have to figure this out. We have to come to a conclusion about it and problem solve. We have those kind of beliefs that make us think that if we do that, that we will get better and we will actually get to the bottom of why we're thinking about a certain topic, or the content of the OCD. We're feeling like if we do all these safety-seeking behaviours and reassurance-seeking and just researching, trying to get to the bottom of it, that we're actually going to come to some kind of, final conclusion. And, we can think, well, we're not, no, I'm fine with that particular type of OCD now because I know that either if it's false memory, that didn't happen. I feel like I've researched it enough and gone over my memory that many times that I'm kind of there that, that didn't actually happen. But then we've still got those beliefs behind it, which is that if we do all this research and figuring out and, all the working out behind it, that we're actually come to some conclusion. But the thing is, the conclusion never comes because it'll show up somewhere else. So it'll show up in another type of OCD. You'll get then maybe like I have moved around from like harm and responsibility to POCD, to scrupulosity. It just finds another place to appear. And like I say, the path of least resistance, because it knows you value that so much. And this is the thing, we have to address our beliefs around it and the process, not the actual content, if that makes sense. So it's not actually a problem with the relationship or, harm or, contamination. It's just we have beliefs around that. And the beliefs are that by doing all these safety-seeking behaviours that we're actually gonna figure this out and we're gonna feel better. But the thing is, it never ends. Like I say, it'll just show up somewhere else. And you think you've dealt with it, but you haven't, because we're still treating it the same way. We're still using those kind of behaviours like the rituals, the rumination, the problem solving, the trying to just work everything out, trying to figure everything out and come to a solid conclusion, which unfortunately with OCD doesn't really ever come, because like I say, You might think you've solved it, but you haven't, because it'll show up somewhere else, further down the line. And we get stuck in that whole loop, and the anxiety and all the uncomfortable emotions that we feel alongside all these intrusions, and all the rituals that we make ourselves go through. So I just wanted to give that kind of food for thought today, and actually think about the fact that whatever subtype of OCD you have, it doesn't really matter. We often, like I say, we think it's the problem's that, but it isn't. The problem is our relationship with those kind of thoughts and, intrusive thoughts, because it's all OCD. And when we can actually wrap our heads around that and actually figure out that, this is just OCD thoughts. This isn't actually about me. It's just, I'm a sensitive person. I value these things in my life, and it's going to show up in those places, and it's going to make you feel terrified, because that comes along with a lot of worst case scenarios and things that you might be uncomfortable with. And that's because OCD knows where to hurt you the most. And that's the thing, once we realize that this is all OCD, we can actually approach it from a different angle and think, hey, these are OCD thoughts. I don't have to give them any special attention. They can crop up in my mind, and I can let them be there. I don't have to figure them out. And if you can actually build that tolerance to that and let them hang out there without trying to push them away, we can actually then change our relationship with them and realize that these are just thoughts. It's not about individual issues. They're all OCD thoughts. And the type of people we are with OCD, I do think we're very sensitive individuals. And, we soak up a lot of what's in our environment, and, we can worry, and, we get very anxious over certain things because we don't like uncertainty. We want to have absolute certainty that these things are not going to happen. And OCD is the doubt disorder. It's all about doubt. We hate having any room for any kind of uncertainty, and that's why we do a lot of the behavior around it, which is the rumination and problem solving and trying to work everything out. So if we can actually build that tolerance and let those kind of thoughts be there and not involve ourselves so much, we can actually change our whole relationship with these thoughts. Not the individual problems, they're just all the same. They're all the same OCD thoughts. So that's whether it's about relationships, health, whatever, contamination, harm, whatever it may be, violence, sexual thoughts, whatever they are, they're all OCD thoughts. And once we can grasp that and really, let that be and not get ourselves so involved, we're not going to carry out the rituals anymore. We're going to let them be there. It's going to be there in your brain going, come on, you need to do this now to be sure of this. But we don't have to. We can step back, and that's going to feel hard at first. Don't get me wrong, this is not an easy process, but when we actually committed to getting better and actually really want to do something about this, we can achieve that. It's hard, it really is. I've had OCD for 40 years. It's a long time to go through this. It's very challenging, and I know how hard it is if you're going through something like this as well. People just do not understand how much it takes over your life and your quality of life. It really restricts everything, and we deserve to have that fulfilling life where OCD is not controlling us anymore. And I'm hoping my videos are helping you see this and realize that there is hope. You can get better from this. And a lot of my videos, I describe my journey with metacognitive therapy and detached mindfulness, along with some ERP as well, because these are all things and tools that I've used to actually get better from this. So I hope you enjoy my other videos as well. I hope this has made you realize that this is all OCD, no matter what the content is, and we can do something about that. So thanks for watching today. Please remember to let me know in the comments if this has been helpful, and also if you think this is something you can do something about. You realize that this is just all the same. These subtypes, no matter what they are, they're all the same. It's all OCD. and you can get better from this. So thanks for watching. See you next time.